This guy puts a stream up without even centering the screen or anything. Alright, looks like they're actually about to get started here. Rather quickly. It's coming to the 9, the Phantom. Spicy. Alright, let me pull up my chat. Chat is up. What's up, chat? Do we even need to do the YouTube intro at this point? Because I feel like the announcement said this is hot Yomi action. You've been lied to. I know it's not. Instead of hot Yomi action, we have, I don't know, lukewarm Exceed gameplay. What's up, Petersonian? I thought you said you were at the Yukon game. When does the Yukon game start? Don't these games happen in the afternoon? I don't know. I'm not paying attention to March Madness this year. What's up, Ice Pop? How are you? We're not doing a YouTube intro today. It's a lazy Sunday. Oh, we probably should do... Oh, the car tracker doesn't even work with 9. I forgot the car tracker doesn't work with 9. Oh, no. Dang it. This is the first time I'm casting 9, I guess, with the car tracker. Let's see how... We can tell how strong of a 9-player MistAssassin is by seeing how they sort their sealed area. 9 has a 25 card deck that she starts with. So she has 9 different she has 7 specials and 2 ultras, so 9 different special cards, I guess, that are not normals. But 1 copy of each special and ultra starts sealed in the sealed area. And I'll actually talk about 9 now while so Cammy, I mean, Street Fighter character, she zips around the field a lot. Her ranges are like 1 and then like far away because she can advance quite a bit, and then her UA is, if you move past the opponent during a strike, your attacks and range includes them. So something like a range 1 dive, those kind of cards we will hit for Cammy, unlike other characters. But for 9, of course, 9, the Phantom, she starts with a smaller deck size, so she starts with her 16 normals, and she starts with 1 copy of each special and ultra. And her basic gimmick is that she can, so whenever so the other copy of the special and ultra starts in the sealed area. That's technically also in the sealed area, but whatever. This is, so right off the bat, I will say, MistAssassin, not sure if they're a 9-player because they're not, these cards are very close to each other. But, yeah. So 9 the Phantom, her gimmick is whenever she seals an attack, so she can seal an attack with her UA, she can seal, not just an attack, a card, excuse me. So whenever she seals a card with her, she can seal with her UA, she can seal with a couple of boosts. And of course, whenever she seals a card, she can recur a card back. So she recurs the card with the same speed that she sealed back. She can recur it to her hand. She can recur it. She recurs it to her hand, right? Whenever she seals the card. And then on backside, of course, she gets like massive super recursion for some reason, where she can just recur 4 cards for free. Very, very strong character. I guess can you hear my phone? So the thing is, my phone is up against my microphone, and then okay, let me not have it on vibrate. Okay. So my phone's up against my microphone because my phone's where my chat is. So you can hear me my phone popping off. As it looks like MistAssassin will be going first. Now we have like a goofy deck. I have no idea what's going on. But yeah, the card tracker doesn't work with 9 the Phantom. Apologies. Welcome, Pingo. Pingo is setting the stage properly for us. This is going to be the final match between these 2 teams. I don't remember what I know D's on help. I thought this was speed dating. I believe MistAssassin is part of Team Triple Dose. So these were the two teams matchup this week. They had the highest Swiss score. Both teams went 6-3 last week, and this week both teams are 3-3. So actually, both teams do have 9 points, and so whoever wins this set between D and MistAssassin will actually have more points by the end of this week. And of course, more points equals good. I think the tournament format is just whoever has the most points by the end of 3 weeks wins the tournament. So. Yeah, thank you for setting the stage for us, Pingo. That is exactly what's going on. It turns out to be an extremely important match here between D and MistAssassin. I mean, I guess all the matches are going to be important just because points are always good. But points are especially important here. MistAssassin looks like they're going to be going first on the 9, the Phantom, against D's Cammy. And we briefly discussed Cammy. We'll take a look at 9's cards here just because, I don't know, they're fun. Super key charge / relatively good ultra. Navy pressure is going to be your slow fireball. 4-7 is a little bit of an awkward range, but still very, very good when it hits. Amethyst is your sweep like, that also happens to ignore guard. Kunzite is your super reliable long range option because this will basically always hit, also ignores armor. Here's like a mid speed option, but incredible boost on it. Basically helps you just win combat. Morganite Mouse is kind of a fast fireball. Only 3-5, but fast fireball at speed 5. Here's another fast fireball. Often becomes 3-8 because as the game continues, looks like we're gonna see a strike here right away from 9 the Phantom. Oh, never mind. That's just a mulligan. Never mind. Okay. Flax Nurture is a decent boost, I guess, if you really are digging for something. Emerald of Enmity also has CMOS Gate on it, which is a very, very good boost, because, of course, when you steal a card, you get a card back. Lapis Lazuli of Limitation says, don't lose this combat for a force, which is, that's good. That's good. This has Teleport Step on it, but also has an 8-speed option if you need it for 1 gauge. This also has a super key charge on it, and yeah, that's basically a 9's kit. She has a little bit of everything, and access to a little bit of everything. Access to a little bit of everything whenever she wants, so that it becomes a lot of everything. So we see the turn 1 light boosted from 9. Gets matched with the turn 1 defend. Turn 1 light's definitely interesting, because I feel like you can get more value out of a light than turn 1 at range 4. But maybe there's a plan here for that. Turkin's the person who designed, Turkin, of course, head of Season 5. So 9 Phantom, his creation. He actually plays the offensive 9, which I think I've actually never seen before, but I'm definitely interested in seeing in the future. Especially because, there's this whole debate on how to play 9 and how strong she is. I'm personally of the opinion that 9 is one of the best characters in the game, but obviously people can disagree with that, and we'll see a prepare action coming from MistAssassin into the parry. So parrying against 9 is definitely interesting because you start with only 1 copy of a special and ultra on your deck, right? It looks like the Kunzite is going to be parried. That's, of course, the ignore armor option. The parry misses. We see a hand of 4-5, EX Cross, a Navy Pressure, a Morganite of Malice, and an Emerald of Enmity. So not really the cards you want to see in hand when you boost light at range 4. So I'm assuming there's going to be some kind of shenanigans happening afterward, but it's definitely an interesting hand to boost light with. Yeah, so 9's typical plan A does involve zoning, but of course Cammy, the master of just advancing forward. The issue with a lot of her advancing options, though, is that they're quite slow without guard behind them. So of course, Spiral Arrow, one of the best cards in the game when you crit it, is the only real armored option here. Right, so Cannonball speed 3, Razor's Edge will dodge things. And that's actually going to be a pretty important option as well, just because a lot of 9's long-range options are actually long-range options as opposed to Cammy's, which are dives, right? So the crit Razor's Edge might be a card that we're looking for in the future as well, alongside the crit Spiral Arrow. Not really a matchup I've played before, but that's what I'd have to guess. And I would fathom that Cammy does have a chance in this matchup just for those, just because she has those kind of dive-like cards with the either the guard or the dodge. So we're going to see a strike here. Reminder, the hand that we saw was like a Morganite or something. And it's going to be the Emerald of Enmity. So the Emerald of Enmity will go first. Does cost a force to spend. I will have the push one, retreat one, and then Cammy's Razor Edge Slicer will not be stunned, of course, because of the defend boost. Will advance 4 and then miss. But Cammy now closer up to 9 than before. Looks like we're not going to see the 9 switcheroo happen. So, of course, 9 can recur a card from her sealed area by adding a card from her hand to gauge. Basically, it's a triangle, right? So, hand to gauge, this card, the combat card, to the sealed area, and the sealed area to hand. But, of course, you can't do that with the Emerald of Enmity because on front side, her UA says that it has to be a card that hasn't been sealed already. I'm pretty sure backside you can, but not on front side. Hans saying in chat, Cammy should have a fair chance. 9 would want to stick around in range 3, maybe 2 to 4, since 2 to 3 is Cammy's worst range. Yeah, I mean, just don't be at 1. I think you can be at 4, and that's okay. Especially now, because 1 Razor's Edge is down. And we're going to see the Heliodor of Humility boosted, so this is one of the ways 9 can seal her cards. So it's a defend boost, but on top of that, and that should stay in play. I think they're like correcting it for MistAssassin, but this is a defend boost. But on top of that, of course, the cross gets sealed from hand. Getting rid of a known normal, but reminder that there's a bunch of known normals in here, so this is pretty sketchy, because I think D has a free reading here if he wants it. I don't know what the punish would be here. But yeah, both Assault and Dive, I believe, are known in the hand of 9 at this point in time. Notably also, EX crosses down early, but of course 9 can get that back later. We're going to see the Cannonball boosted from D. That's going to be a +2 speed. At the end of your next turn, add this card to gauge. But I have a feeling that D is probably going to strike with this. But no, that just baits out the tech, and then the second one comes out from D, of course. What's up, Zlotana? I'm not interested personally, but I don't know, maybe you can convince someone in chat. You can talk about it if you want, I don't really care. But the chat may not appreciate it, I don't know. But hello, how are you? Hope you're having a good afternoon. We're going to see the Flax Nurture boosted. This is going to be a draw 3, then shuffle 2 cards from your hand into your deck. So it's like a funky change cards 1, except you get to see a lot more cards out of it. So decent boost if you're digging for something specific. Although I have a feeling D's just going to strike here with something like a Dive, if he has it. Just the free value. You know the EX crosses down. Dive at 6 speed, can't get hit back. Yep, Pingo notes this is a good way to put the normals back. There is only one normal known in hand at this point in time, and that is the Assault, because both the crosses were used, and the Dive was just used to tech. But yeah, the Assault is still known. I actually believe that all of the cards have been shuffled back into the deck outside of the Emerald of Enmity second copy. Well, I'd argue it's not really CC because the options are back later at a random time, but yeah, sure, I guess it's one way to look at it. And yeah, that gets that end of turn draw as well. And D replaces his light skip with a light, gets that engage as well. And I think, as we kind of alluded to with the critical options, I think Gage is going to be very important for Cammy in this matchup. Can be better or worse, because sometimes you want to see cards that you don't want to see again. I'd argue, but sure, yeah. In a lot of cases, it is better, yeah. Back to MistAssassin here. What's Cammy threatening here? Cammy's the most simple threat that Cammy would be threatening here is like a dive. I mean, can be threatening assault, but like into a Heliodor of Humility, I don't really think so. Cammy also does have an ignore guard option at speed 5 with the critical and the cannonball. Can obviously be spike as well. In a lot of cases, Cammy is quote-unquote safe to cross out, although I don't think that's a threat. And we're going to see the super key charge come out here, and that is going to be 3 gauge added to 9. So 9 already has our 4 gauge with the Hino Kagutsuchi. Never really pronounced that before. Really a great boost here. 9 now has 4 gauge, so she can, in theory, do her recursion shenanigans. Although D says, I am still winning this next strike probably, so let me put a fierce on it. What's up, Migo? Migo says it's just to change cards, bro, not a big deal. Yeah. Nice joke there, Migo. Very funny. Just to change cards, man. No big deal. No big deal. A reminder that the cards that 9 spends on this boost, right? It's a 3/4 boost, right? But those can just later be used literally the next turn once 9 exceeds to recur cards back. So, yeah, just a CC, bro. No big deal. What a statement. Anyway, back to MistAssassin here, who is dealing with a +2/+2 with only a defend to his name. Oh yeah, Cammy does have another like mid-speedy option. Not mid-speedy, but she does have dive kick. You don't see it too often just because slide tends to be a pretty OP boost, especially early on. But she does have a range dodge here, right? We are going to see the immediate flip, so we'll take a look at 9's backside here. And we see that overdrive effect is the first thing we want to be noticing here, right? So, overdrive, you may seal a card from your discard pile, right? So what happens is... Okay, yeah, sure. I guess 9's run out of space here a little bit, although I don't know what this is doing. Like, I don't understand what this is, but whatever. Although 9 will have to discard for end of turn. So what's going on here, right? Overdrive. You may steal a card from your discard pile. However, when you steal a card, you return the sealed card with the same printed speed back to your hand, right? So you basically get 4 turns of recursion, right? Which can, in this case, doesn't look like, looks okay. It doesn't look like fantastic, but looks pretty decent, right? But it's part of what makes 9 so good, right? Suddenly, you can play cards like 5 times in a reshuffle, and that's insane. As we see the spike dropped from the hand. D says, okay, I mean, you haven't really done anything to improve the strike, so let me change that by striking right now with +2/+2 into the defend. But yeah, this is part of 9's engine, that what makes her so good. In my opinion, specifically, it's just like if you're able to use cards more than twice in a reshuffle, the value of those cards, although 9 is running kind of low on deck, the value of those cards is really gets kind of amplified the more times you use it, right? So, like for example, like if you use a card like say twice, right? It's just gonna be a block. Hopefully, it's not a spike from D. No, it's just the dive that we predicted earlier. It's gonna be 7 power dive incoming. MistAssassin already has 3 armor, so just needs to spend 2 force to not take anything. Cammy also corners herself in this scenario. Notably, we can look at Gyro Drive here, which would do full damage if D were to strike with it. Gyro Drive would do 12 damage from this position, I believe. But yeah, as I was saying with the 9 recursion, at least kind of the theory behind it, from what I understand, from what I believe, it's just that the use of a specific card, 4 or 5 times in a reshuffle, or even 3 times, right? It's just you get way, like, it's not a linear, it's not like a linear graph of like value gained versus number of times used. I think it's more than that, which is part of the reason why I think 9 recursion is very good. But I'm not going to discuss 9 theory too much here. Although we do see the overdrive kick off, so one of these cards will go to the discard, and then a card will be returned to 9's hand from the discard pile, including one of these 4 cards. So basically, I think any of these cards can be returned outside of the Azurite Inferno. I think that's the only speed that hasn't been spent yet. So we're going to see Cammy seal discard the Emerald of Enmity. We are at range 1, reminder. Cammy, however, only has 2 gauge, so it doesn't have the 3 gauge yet for the CQC. We'll take a look at CQC here while MistAssassin is choosing what to seal. Notably, the only normal that has been sealed so far is Cross. So every other special is up for 9 to be recurred if she chooses. Looks like we're going to be sealing a light to bring back the Amethyst of Annihilation. So this is sealing sweep, for the Amethyst of Annihilation, which is kind of a sweep like, except ignores guard. Yes, Migo has said it more clearly than I have. The more that you can recur an option, the more you can use it as a normal character. Only gets to have an option twice to reshuffle, yeah. And then on top of that, the value of it gets amplified because your opponent has less answers to said option as well, right? Is basically the crux of the argument there on why recursion is busted, or at least in this case. I mean, there are other reasons, but that's the one I'm going with for now. I hope MistAssassin shuffled their hand, but it looks like we're just gonna see strike here. Is it that super obvious Amethyst of Annihilation? We're gonna see probably crit spiral come out from D here. Yep, and it is the crit spiral. It is the focus. So it's going to be the slow option from 9. Crit Spiral basically just beats everything that 9 throws here. So yeah, that Crit Spiral will hit for 3 after armor. Did 9 take 5? I feel like 9 took way more damage than she needed to that strike. Yeah, it should be only 3 damage, so this focus has 2 armor on it. Oh, I mean, they figured it out. Did 9 take 2 through the block? I just assumed that 9 wouldn't take 2 through the block. What's going on here? Okay, so 9's actually going to be using her frontside UA here. So in cleanup, she can spend 1 force to seal her attack. So she chooses to spend the block from Gauge to seal the focus that was in combat to bring back Navy Pressure. That's definitely an interesting one. I didn't really expect that to happen there. 9 now has 3 normal sealed. Important for cards like, where is it? Lapis, Coral. I think there's one more. Emerald of Enmity as well. I mean, he does get back the Navy Pressure at range 4, but Navy Pressure is probably at its most unreliable in this matchup with Cammy. With literally every card advancing out of that range. Second overdrive goes off after D boosts the defend. So far, a bit of like waffling around here for 9. I haven't really seen the guaranteed value come out just yet. Although the guaranteed value is kind of low damage. Notably, this is the second defend boost for D here. Oh yeah, I'm not. I probably should track Kami cards here, but I'm not. Of course, when you seal the focus, you can get it back later. So that is just something to watch out for as well. Looks like we're going to be sealing a dive to bring out the Androdite of Accord / the Coral of Catastrophe to hand. We are at range 4. D's actually doing a good job here of tracking what cards are in 9's hand. I don't know what AM is. Which one's AM? Probably Amethyst? Yeah, okay. So the specials so far that 9 has recorded in hand are the Navy Pressure, Speed 1, Fireball, the Sweep Like, an Amethyst that ignores guard, and the Coral, which is the mid speed with the good boost on it. But actually, that mid speed does 7 damage right now, funnily enough, because 4 normals are sealed already. So I mean, D so far with the early life lead. The only issue that I can see is that he spent both defense. He spent a Spiraler and he spent a Razor's Edge already. That could be something to look out for. Maybe even like if you see D spend the second copy of those, maybe he even goes for the early reshuffle. Is something to look out for. Hunt says he tracks them by number. I also track them by number. But it's at... I mean, you can track them by number if only you know what the cards do. So we're going to see the Taphite of Temptation boosted. This is kind of like a scuffed superior boost. +1 power, +1 speed, +1 armor. It's I mean, it's slightly overcosted, I would say. But, I mean, +1 power, +1 speed is a good boost. As we see D just prep into that. I mean, +1 power, +1 speed is a good boost. But it is maybe slightly overcosted. Especially when you compare it to, when you look at the opportunity cost loss, when you compare it to Amethyst of Annihilation, which is one of 9's is really, really just one of our premier cards. But anyway, third overdrive is going to go off here. I believe. Yeah, third overdrive is going to go off. Yeah, I feel like this is... Hans, I was just about to say this. I feel like it's a lot of work for not a lot of reward so far here for the 9. Especially because we've built no gauge here, right? And while this was happening, it looks like we're gonna be sealing the assault to bring back Morganites. So that Morganite is now a 5 power 6 speed option. Notably, would break the defenses of defend. That is overdrive number 3 down. Notably, we have 5 normals sealed. I wonder if, like, are we playing Slinka here, where we're just trying to seal all our normals, and then go for the colorless void? That'd be pretty hype. Yeah, it seems like a lot of work so far. Not a whole lot of utility gained so far. We have one more turn of overdrive, and then we're stuck on 0 gauge here as well. Mrs. has been playing on high hand all game as well. Very, very, not very aggro. I kind of want to see a Kuntai come out here. The mix up with the Morganite. I kind of want to see that happen. Right, so Kunzite's at speed 4. Performs pretty well here. Against a lot of options. We are just going to see the straight up strike come out here from MistAssassin. So, I mean, could be Navy Pressure in theory. Could be Kunzite. The ignore armor option. Could be Morganite with the card which we just saw being recurred. Does break the defenses of defend. Could be the Emerald in theory. Actually, I don't think it can be the Emerald. I think both those are in the discard, actually. It can't be the Emerald, to my knowledge. Are there really that many 1 to 8 options? It's going to be the six defenses EX gyro drive, and it is the sweep from 9. So the sweep will go first and miss. And then the EX gyro drive will hit back for 6. So minimum value gained out of that gyro drive as far as the hit ability is concerned. This positioning, of course, is the worst gyro drive you can get as far as power is concerned. So yeah, the sweep will go first and miss, and then the EX gyro drive will hit back for 6. And we are going to spend a force to seal the sweep, to bring back the sweep. Looks like. That looked like a force expenditure, right? It was like spending a dive. If 9 didn't have that boost, she would have won that strike. Yeah, she would have. She would have. That was a sweep reading, what, like the second copy of EX, not EX. The second copy of Spiral Arrow or something? Crit Spiral Arrow? Definitely a trade that leaves a sour feeling in my mouth for sure. Did not really expect that to happen. Could be a call out for cross. No. I have no. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is. I just feel like MistAssassin is just sealing normals and then doing nothing so far. Is that tough? Is that being too harsh on the 9 player here? I just feel like 9 started off really well, right? Got the 4 gauge, and then proceeded to do nothing with it, nothing of value. I mean, has sealed 6 normals, I guess. So now cards like Lapis Lazuli of Indomitation will like work. But I'm just so confused by what's happening here. Are we gonna see another crit spiral here? Yep, it's the crit spiral from D. And what is this? It is the Lapis Lazuli of Lamentation. However, the crit spiral arrow will catch this for sure, because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 7 normal sealed. So that means 9 can retreat 4, but of course the spiral arrow will catch this. On MistAssassin's team, MistAssassin had the following characters available. They had 9 the Phantom, they had Hakumen, and they had Ragna. I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that MistAssassin is not a 9 player. Yeah, Miller, but there are four characters per season that can be used. This is only week 2, so MistAssassin has only used 1 of their 4-player roster for season 5, and I guess we're just playing Selinka here. I guess MistAssassin would have been a really good Selinka player, because look at all these normal sealed so far. It feels like they're getting lost in the sauce here a little bit, though, as far as actually procuring any sort of value out of any of these interactions. I just at a loss for words. I mean, 9's a difficult character to play for sure, but yeah, this is going to be a retreat 4, or retreat up to. She can advance or retreat 1, and then do it for however she can choose her range, basically, right? No matter what's going to happen, the Spiral Arrow is going to hit, so you might as well choose a range that's beneficial for you and not go the full 4. Miss seems to, Hod says Miss seems to have some experience with 9, but probably doesn't know what to do in this matchup. I just feels like Miss is just waffling around. Okay, Miss does get to choose his range. Chooses range 2. already down to half HP though versus Cammy's 28. Yeah, this is definitely not a typical 9 matchup where it's just Cammy can just zip around the board, etc., etc. And it's true that for 9 in general, you kind of do have to play the matchup a little bit, where it's just like, there's certain matchups where it's just like, if you lose a certain range, like, don't be out of that range, right? Or if your cards suck, like, recur other cards, right? That kind of thing. But maybe MistAssassin is just not really... Maybe you guys are right. Maybe I'm being a little bit too harsh, and that in my assessments, we see light boosted for D, light boosted back for MistAssassin. I mean, Cross is just free here for D. We're gonna see Parry come out instead. Parry target likely to be successful, 7 in hand, 2 in deck. Parry's the second copy of the Lapis. Doesn't want to deal with that. The card to deal with Lapis, of course, is the Crit Spiral Arrow. Both of those are down for D, so it makes sense. Although, of course, I mean, 9 can, in theory, get it back, depending on what cards are left here. I think there's like a Heliodor left in hand if... Oh, but no, never mind. I forgot we've sealed all of our normals here. So, anytime a seal's coming out, unless it's that 3 or one of the Ultras, or, wow, even Block is sealed. Maybe we are just going for the Colorless Void. This is a 2... There's 7 normals sealed right now. This is a 2 gauge Colorless Void. That's funny. And both blocks are down for D, I'm pretty sure, as well. This is interesting for sure. Unfortunately, 9 does have 28 HP to chew through, so... Not looking great, but... We're initiating with an EX. We like 100% know what this is. Is this EX Coral? I hope it's on EX Coral. Because EX Coral is going to lose every day of the week. What other EX can this be, though? It's not a normal. If this is an initiation of EX Coral, I'm sorry, this is an indefensible play. If this is the case. Like, this is indefensible. I mean, there's the cross from D, and I don't know. It's not EX Spike. Both spikes have been spent a long time ago. It's just EX Coral. I really don't know. I really don't know. That's going to be a 2 damage cross incoming, beating out the EX Coral, stunning out the EX Coral even. We're now boosting Fierce at range 5 for Cammy, which is, I mean, range 5's one of the places to be, right? And things go from bad to worse here for the 9 player. Calling across to the Navy pressure? Yeah. That would be cool, except it was in the EX, so not really. This is just, this is a mauling right here from D. I don't know, like, apologies, but that EX Coral is just an indefensible play. Like, there's no way you can be playing that and have that go through. There's no way. Anyway, D's checking MistAssassin's discard. Maybe you think you have a reshuffle? I mean, we have 4 in hand, 2 in deck. We've gotten 0 value out of our first reshuffle. The only issue with our second reshuffle is that we're going to have a bunch of we're not going to have any normals. Which maybe is okay for now, but things might have to change. As we see the Uberite of Undoing now draw 2. After the opponent's stun, they must discard 2 cards at random. So we're planning on stunning with something. The issue with this play... Okay, so now Colorless Void is not the win con, so I don't know what the win con is now. I thought I legitimately thought that Colorless Void was going to be the way that MistAssassin wins this game, judging by the sheer number of normal sealed, but that's not it, so... What's going on here? Wonder what's going on here. Oh. You just shuffled the boost in. Okay, cool. And of course the reading punish. And I don't get it. I legitimately don't get it. You can't be leaving no normals in there. You can't Pingo. The only issue with that plan is we don't even have enough gauge here for Colorless Void yet. There's only 7 normal sealed, so this is a 2 gauge ultra. But yeah, that was a plan, right? But I mean, this is just brutal to watch, folks. I'm sorry, it's brutal to watch. You guys see what's going on in the chat here? D's just kind of musing in what is just a really, really unfortunate game. Just, wow. Anyway, it is back to MistAssassin here. He's going to be striking with the focus. What else was in the hand? Oh, no, wait. MistAssassin has not shuffled his hand. That was the top deck. D's just going to attempt to cross out or whatever it is. It is the second Lapis. So that'll be 2 damage incoming. I mean... Okay, cool. Drops the focus. On hit, may seal a card from discard, of course. And then can choose wherever he wants to be. Can actually choose any position. Can be anywhere. Can be anywhere. Hans believes in the comeback. So far, I've not been convinced by this 9 gameplay, Hans, if I'm being real. So, a lot of loafing around, if I'm being honest. Sorry, tapped out for a second. Do we not perform the hit effect? It looks like we did not perform the hit effect, judging by what's in here. And then, of course, 9 chose to go all the way to range 4, interestingly enough. D taking a look at his own discard pile here. I mean, the tools that we pointed out, namely the Razor's Edge and the Spiral Arrow, are down. So we might be thinking of a reshuffle here soon if we're D. Too harsh on 9. The opponent is shrinking after all. Disagree. I think, I don't think D's been doing anything special this game, if I'm being honest. Like, I mean, what? Like 2 crit Spiral Arrows? Very cool. I don't know. See big CC here, looks like, for D. Interesting that he wants to keep the Razor's Edge in gauge. So I would assume he would keep one of these. Yeah, something like that. I like that a lot better. CC3 drawing 4, and then next turn you can go for the reshuffle. I like that. Like I don't think you can put this as a win for D. Like, D's not made any mistakes, sure. I mean, but what mistake are you gonna make in this matchup? Wait, you're gonna not crit your Spiral Arrow? You're gonna not crit your Razor's Edge? You didn't even need to crit Razor's Edge in this match. Well, you're not gonna read the no normal. Just a lot of what feels like unforced errors from 9 so far. But I mean, maybe that changes. Maybe it's just the character that MistAssassin is a little bit unfamiliar with. Maybe. And games 2 and game 3 will go better. Because reminder, These two teams, they are currently 9-9, so whoever wins this set will have more points by the end of this week. 9 just prepares at range 4, okay. We're not going for the reshuffle, we're instead going for the slide boost. Your normal attacks have before advance 3. Good boost. Good boost. 9 gonna strike into that. I wonder if this is just a... I hope this is not... I don't know why it just feels like an offensive block. Just, like, feels like one. D going for the focus. It's the sweep, which will go first and miss. And the focus will slide in afterward for 4. And, well, things go from bad to worse here. This is the second time that MistAssassin's sweep has been, unfortunately, been too high of a speed to deal with whatever he's been throwing. As we see, the acrobatics boosted attacks at range 1 do not hit you. Right, and then just to be clear here, with the slide boost on defense, D had no incentive to go... Like, D had no incentive to play fast there. Literally none, so... Yeah, slide focus was just always pretty much going to win. I can't think of a single card that like loses that. As we see a big CC here. Clearly the answer is not in MistAssassin's hand, it's in his deck. I don't really know what the answer is, if I'm being honest though. D has a free strike here with the acrobatics here, should he choose to take it. And that is... There's not a lot of things that would beat something like I mean, yeah, almost surely going to be strike here. Just a 1 card, no crits. I wonder what this is. Wonder what this is. I mean, not a whole lot of options it can be. Only 6 cards left here. Almost surely it's a card that wins the game. We're going for the Wild Swing. I guess we didn't hit our block here. If we're 9. So we can invalidate the Emerald of Enmity. It is just the Assault from D. We can invalidate this Emerald of Enmity to look for a block, perhaps. Is the cross. So the cross will miss because we're at range 1, and that Assault will hit back for 4, ending 9's just misery here. Like that. That was brutal. That was brutal. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. That was rough. But anyway, that is just game 1. We have 2 more games left to go. MistAssassin can still win the set for his team, just by winning the next 2 games. So D cannot play a Season 3 character, has to play a Season 4 or Season 5 character. That's how the rules work. I'm pretty sure D just has all the low tiers for Season 4 left, so it should be a funny one. MistAssassin, I don't really remember what characters they have left, but they cannot play Season 5 anymore. They have to play a Season 3 or Season 4 character. But yeah, that is 1-0 to D. Hopefully we can get the card tracker working again, although I did say that, unfortunately, the players did start later than I expected, so I will have to, like, dip out for, I don't know, like 20 minutes or something in the middle of it. But I'll keep the stream running. I'll keep the camera centered. It's something I don't do a good job of in general, but D's already picked his character. He's bringing out the Spectre Knight. Okay. Into MistAssassin's own Cammy. Okay, MistAssassin probably going to show D how real Cammy gameplay is. Someone please spread out the cards so I remember what they're called. So I don't have to look it up on the Reddit. Please spread out your cards, someone. Okay, I hear it over here. Okay, so blue side has these cards. What? Cannonball, cannon, spike, dive kick, razor's edge, spiral arrow, GDS, CQC, no astral, and then, oh my god, what's happening here? Alright, we'll just look at the other side. And then we'll take a look at the kits afterward, because Spectre's definitely an interesting one. I don't think we've casted too much Spectre gameplay. What is this card called? Bounding Soul. Boulder? I don't know why I thought it was Boulder Soul. Maybe thinking of Rook and Yomi. Spin Scythe. Okay, so we already know what the Kami kit does to some extent, so we'll take a look at the Spectre kit. We'll take a look at this UA first. Oh, thank you, Pingo. I was not looking at the chat then, but thank you for your thank you for that. Spectre Knights. When you initiate a strike after setting your attack, you may seal 2 cards from your hand face down. It's another character that interacts with the sealed area. If you do, before advance 2. So right off the bat, we're looking at a very expensive cost here, right? Because we're spending 3 cards from hand, right? 1 for the strike and 2 for the sealed action, but to get a very, very powerful effect, right? Before advance 2 is just it's very good. It's very good. It pairs well with a lot of cards. Pairs well with Spike, pairs cards with Wall Dive Guard on it. Helps you break the speed curve. Just so many different benefits for it. Reminder, only on offense, though. Very, very expensive, though. I'll take a look at Spectre's cards here. We have a DP at the cost of 1 force. But here we have one of our reload boosts, which is draw 3 cards and then strike with a card from your sealed area. So if you're running low on cards, here's your reload boost. Throwing Sickle is basically similar to like a Whirl at range 3. I mean, it's relatively functionally the same. Also gains advantage on it as well. Shadow Mirror, not a boost I see a whole lot. Bounding Soul is a card when paired with the UA, does 6 power. Very specific range to hit at. I'm just making sure that the players haven't started yet or anything. 6 power though, very, very good. Vanish is a boost I don't see a whole lot, very, very expensive. If you look at a lot of the costs here, right, very, very expensive character. Spin Scythe, 3 guard on it, a little bit low, but can do the job. I feel like I don't really see this a whole lot in combat either, because the Dash Slash is another one, is your second reload boost, right? It's either hand face down, then draw until you have 4 cards in hand, then strike with a card from a sealed area. Alright, so these are your Gathering Darkness and your Dash Slash are your reload boosts. Assuming you're playing kind of like a tempo-heavy front-side Spectre. I'm assuming that's the style of Spectre that D will go for. Just because, I mean, that's the kind of player he is. Also has hit gain advantage on it as well, which is very nice. Dread Talon is your range 1 spike. Good mix-up option, especially paired with your before advanced 2s as well, right? So, for example, if you're standing at range 3, normally you wouldn't be afraid of a spike, because spike obviously does not hit at 1, but we have Dread Talon for that. And then Wall Climb, another expensive boost that I don't see a whole lot. Barrier Lantern, I don't see this Ultra played a whole lot either, just because it's just expensive, right? Everything in this kit is just a little bit too expensive. That boost though is pretty good. Strike with a card from a sealed area, hit return this card in your hand, decent boost. And then of course we have the Dread Reaper. The Judgment Rush on it is what we're looking at, though that boost is very, very good. Even at 3 force, it's still very, very playable. Plus 2 power, plus 1 speed, before close 2, now strike. Just very, very, very good boosts here. Although it is a tad expensive. Looks like Kami is going to be going first against Spectre. You don't like From the Grave? Which one's From the Grave? Oh, this one? Yeah. I don't know. I see people using it to good value sometimes, but I personally don't play that boost a whole lot. But anyway, it is MistAssassin's turn. Of course, looks like they're still mulliganing though, so it looks like a mulligan of 4. D will be mulliganing 3, and we're off. Funnily enough, both these characters have like a lot of advances. Kami, of course, baked into her kit mostly for the most part, right? Advance 4, advance as far as possible, advance 3, advance 4, advance 2, right? Spectre, combination of the kit and the UA. As we see the slide come out, turn 1 from Kami. Pretty standard play here. Normal attack step before close 3. We saw D use this last game as well to great effect to close out the game. Let's see what's D's response to this. D, funnily enough, can just respond with like a sealed strike. Just going for the 1 card here. Is this focus from D? Perhaps. Of course, Cammy can just play like a special and then have this slide boost sustained. At range 4, Spectre doesn't have cards that hit at 4. So, I mean, that should tell you everything you need to know. Right? Spectre doesn't have cards at 4, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Yeah, okay, it doesn't. I don't know why I thought he would, but no, he doesn't. Oh yeah, sorry, we can actually track cards now. So I mean, probably just a focus. It's gonna be Cammy crossing out. It's just a block for D. Builds a gauge. That's gonna be 3 power incoming. D looks like we'll spend 0 force. Makes sense. Spectre is a very hungry character. Cammy jumps in and then pops back to range 4. Both characters generate a gauge. Gauge is very important for both these characters. We see the skip come out here from Cammy. +2 speed. Range 4 again. This is the second time we've seen MistAssassin go for the range 4 light play. The first one didn't. First one, to my knowledge, didn't have any fruitful results. D just preps into this one. Cammy does have a +2 speed strike now if she wants it. This will gauge at the end of its turn. At the end of MistAssassin's turn, of course. So let's see, was the plan to have a scuffed key charge, or was there an actual plan to strike here from Mist? Is the question we have to ask ourselves here. Okay, and there's a strike here. Although, what's with the top deck, though? Range 4 options for Cammy. I mean, that. Oh, we're going to see an EX come out here from D. It's going to be the EX cross to hop out of whatever this is. It was the Cannonball, interestingly enough. Did not crit it, so that Cannonball would not ignore guard. So that was just a 1/5/5 before advance 3. DEX crosses out of there, has his own range 3 now, chooses to strike. Range 3 makes up for Spectre here. It's going to be the spike. Oh, but the Wild Swing non-crit Spouter will catch a spike. D going for a little funny play there. Range 3 mix-up, you can never forget the spike, right? You can never forget those mid-speeds, but unfortunately for those mid-speeds, the Wild Swings will catch those sometimes. Looks like a prep. Both players staying at range 1. Spectre in the corner. Spectre can get out just by sealing, of course. So we're going to see the defend boost come in play. Now we're taking a look at the potential 12 damage Gyro Drive Smasher incoming. Right. That's something to look out for here. D looks like he's immediately going to strike into this with an EX. Wonder what EX this would be. EX sweep? EX. Oh, no, choosing to not. Oh, okay, he's actually going to be striking with one card by using the UA to add before advance 2 to his attack. So D will end up here, assuming this board state doesn't change. Could be cross, could be DP. Could be a Bounding Soul to potentially pop the defenses of the spike of the defend boost. Could be, I don't know, could be that. I'm assuming I feel like in a lot of cases it's an option that pops the defend boost. Because you don't want to quote-unquote, like, just lose, right, to the Gyro Drive. So, Spike. Could be Spike. Could be second Spike, yeah. Spike is very good with the Spectre UA. That's a good call out. Cammy just going for the assault, the quote-unquote safe play. It is going to be the Bounding Soul, however. That 6 power move, that is going to pop the defenses of the defend. And, yeah, that is rough if you are Cammy there. That's going to be 6 damage, 5 after armor. That assault, of course, is going to get stunned. I mean, D just going for it. Just going for the mid speed, right? Pays out there. And obviously also going for the option that does beat the gyro drive as well. Does not beat the EX gyro drive, but beats the gyro drive. So we see the slide boost here. Gets teched immediately, although I feel like I didn't really see what the slide boost was contributing to there. Like, now your grasp hits, and that's it. Your sweep catches cross, I guess. But gets teched immediately from D. Eternal Mage, hello, says, would be happy to trade into a focus. Yeah, I mean, that play just loses to the fasts, right? So, I mean, what, Cammy's fast, what, gonna do 2 damage, 3 damage? Not a big deal. If it gets crossed out, now you're at range 4, so you have some space in front of you as well. Not sure why I answer with Assaults. Assault kind of felt like, we can analyze this later, but Assault kind of felt like the quote-unquote non-committal play, where it's just like, okay, this is probably going to work in a lot of cases. It just didn't happen to work against the Bounding Soul, right? But Assault, in a lot of cases, will get some value, which is probably why MistAssassin played it. It just happened to not get value against this one specific card because it's speed 5 as well. Maybe it's a little bit of unfamiliarity with the Spectre kit as well. I don't know. Or it could be any number of reasons. Let's see a big CC here. CC4, dropping that grasp, dropping a Razor's Edge, and dropping that Ultra as well. I didn't catch which Ultra it was. Okay, it's the Gyro Drive, huh? So I mean, he did have the Gyro Drive in hand. Did MistAssassin? Second time we're just dumping this whole hand though. Wonder why. Wonder what we're digging for that we're dumping this whole hand. Because, I mean, there's some... I feel like there was definitely value to be extracted out of this hand, right? Razor's Edge doesn't perform great in Spectre, admittedly. But Dive is a mid-speed that you're pretty much always happy to have on Cammy, right? Like, it's very important to represent this mid-speed in a lot of matchups. So we see the parry come out here for MistAssassin. I think D just prepped. Parry misses. We see a hand of Sweep, Dread Talon, that EX Throwing Sickle, and the Judgment Rush as well. Definitely a hand. Not a whole lot. Nah, there's a decent amount going for it. I mean, you have EX Throwing Sickle. You can easily get rid of your normal just by boosting it. Not a terrible hand, all things considered. Probably not one you want to have revealed, though. But of course, I'm assuming that D will just boost light, and then he'll have a top deck for MistAssassin to worry about, right? Yep, and there's that light boost. Get rid of the normal. Back to MistAssassin here. I wonder what was parried. I actually don't know what was parried. I can't imagine what was parried, actually. What would it be? Surely not the DP. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe parry focus. I don't know. When I don't know what the card was parried, I just assume it's focus. A little bit. I feel like this is the first lull in the action that we had for a while, as a MistAssassin considers what to do against this light. The first time we've actually taken a breather in a little while, which I think is good. Sometimes you need to just slow the pace down, slow the game pace down rather. Okay, we're going to see the expenditure of 1 force in the form of the second Razor's Edge to move to range 1. Notably, we have 2 gauge, not 3. But we did see the hand. It was like EX Throwing Sickle, Dread Talon, and I forget the last card. But not the best range 1 hand. Oh yeah, the last card was, of course, the Judgment Rush. It's not the best looking hand. He's checking discard probably just to see whether he can get away with a Judgment Rush Dread Reaper, but I don't think he can. So why is everything in Spectre's kit so expensive? I don't know. I feel like you could reduce the costs on 1 or 2 of the things and it would be fine. But no, D just prepares. Yeah, Spectre's Exceedability is legitimately a very, very good ability, right? It's just that it does cost 5. We see the eject. I've never seen this boosted before. If your opponent's at range 1, push 3. The issue with this boost is that it's on the good card. It's on Spiral Arrow. A card that just always gets value when you play it in combat. Like, very rarely does this card not get value when you play it in combat. So it's definitely an interesting boost to see. Push a Spectre to range 4, where now we're going to see probably a Spectre UA come out. Right? So we're going to have before advance 2 on whatever attack Spectre throws here. I don't... Yeah, I don't... Migo, exactly. Migo says, nice of Cammy to help Spectre by putting him at range 4. We're actually just going to see it paired with the Judgment Rush. So... Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. Definitely a little bit of a thinker there. I don't really know what Cammy was going for. Is that a free spike from Spectre? It's a free anything from Spectre. You're gonna have +3 speed before close 2. The only thing is we have to... If we were more diligent commentators, we would be noting what cards that were dropped were cards that were drawn by D during the last couple turns. But we're not, so... I mean, what can you do? Actually, I'm pretty sure it's just going to be the Throwing Sickle now. I'm pretty sure there's 2 copies of Throwing Sickle, and then maybe 1 unknown card in the hand of D right now. So I'm thinking this is going to be a Throwing Sickle into a Throwing Sickle into something else. If I had to guess. If I had to guess, that's what's coming out here. The Throwing Sickle is 5 power. Of course, it could just be second spike, and then you're just dead, right? I mean, not dead, but Cammy takes 7. Could also be something like a Bounding Soul, and a Bounding Soul is like 8 power here. Could even be like that, and that's 8. That's 7 power. Like, it all depends on the one unknown card. Cause I'm pretty sure there is one unknown card in D's hand after the cards he discarded. We just need to be better at tracking them. Notably, Cammy is down both Spiral Arrows, so you don't have to worry about a crit Spiral Arrow to beat your Throwing Sickle anymore. It's not something you have to worry about. Now, there's a reason that Cammy put us here at range 4, right? Surely there's a reason why Cammy put us at range 4. I just don't know what that reason is. I can't figure it out. But there should be a reason. But I don't know what that reason is. Especially looking at the cards that are left for Cammy, just a lot of those options, a lot of those range options are down even. She all of them. She has 2 copies of her DP. Okay, just gonna be a block here from Cammy, and it is the second spike. It is the second spike from D, and that's gonna be 7 damage incoming. Yep, that was the one unknown card, and now on top of that, we have the EX Throwing Sickle in hand. Yep. Yep, that is unfortunate. And right now you have the perfect defense if you're at range 2. It's like, what, Cammy's going to cross, you're going to take 2 damage? Everyone saw that coming. Yeah, it just depended on whether D drew it, right? Because this could have very easily been a Bounding Soul. This is a free cross, quote-unquote free, if Cammy wants it, in that, right, like, surely you're not playing Assault here into the EX Throwing Sickle at speed 6. Surely you're not. Maybe you're a Madman, and you are. Maybe you're throwing a Spike here, if you're Cammy. The range 2 Spike. Dino checking his own discard. I mean, he has DPs left, right? To outspeed the cross. He's just going to go for the EX Throwing Sickle, though. It is the cross from Cammy, quote-unquote free, 2 damage. Sure. D will just prep here, back to 2 cards, standing at range 4 again. Or again, we've noted that Cammy really doesn't have the best options anymore. Maybe we just see a prep come out here again. MistAssassin actually checking his discard. Maybe thinking a lot of my range 4 options are down, time for a reshuffle? I don't know. I don't think so, but there's a lot of cool melee options left for MistAssassin. Like, he has EX Focus up, EX Sweep up, EX DP up as well. Let's take a look at the DP one more time. Yeah, just prep from Cammy. I'm assuming this is just going to be a prep from Spectre again. Yep, back to Cammy. Cammy can make this comeback. Cammy can absolutely make this comeback. She has 3 gauge. Small health deficit, not meaningless, but small. 1 combat down. Cammy can absolutely make this comeback. No, this game is very different from the first. The first game was lost halfway through, but this game is very different from the first for sure. If your audio's ahead by your video, you have to refresh, Hans. That's your internet. That's going to be a Fierce from Cammy. D just preps one more time. Okay, it's 100% your internet, Hans. Yeah, man. Well, listen, if you follow the stream, help me become affiliate, then I can stream at different qualities. Boom. Nice plug there by me. It's gonna be a defend coming out from from Cammy, and that should ring alarm bells right away, right? That should ring alarm bells for the potential GDS every time you see defend come out for Cammy and she has more than 2 gauge, or more than 1 gauge even. Although I have a feeling it's going to be met by a before advance 2 strike here from D. I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. And I have a feeling it's going to be with a Bounding Soul at 6 power to once again crush the defenses of the defend. Just as we saw last time. EXGDS is not up. Not an option. And yet, just as we predicted, it's going to be a Seal 2. Oh, it's actually going to be an EX Seal 2. Could be EXDP, could be EX Sweep. EX Spider Scythe. Oh yeah, sorry, I put the gauge costs for the Ultra. I don't know why. I actually I do know why. I do it to differentiate the specials in the Ultras. But yeah, only one GDS up. This is gonna be an EX coming out from D. Could be an EX Barrier Lantern even. At speed 4. EXDP, EX Spin Scythe, EX Sweep even. Budget deep. I don't think this is EX Sweep though. It could be EX Sweep. It could be any of those actually. I think all of those make sense. I mean, some make more sense than others, obviously, but just depends on what D has in hand. What's been sealed here as well, right? Spectre is one of those characters that obfuscates information by sealing cards face down, so as Spectre's opponent, you actually don't know, right, what cards are left in deck with full certainty. No blocks to just diffuse the setup, unfortunately, for Cammy either. Apologies for that. All options lose too slow, do they? Oh yeah, there's a defend up. I forgot about the defend. And Cammy does have EX Focus and EX Sweep to her name. That's a good call out there. I forgot about the defend. Thank you, Hans. Okay. And it's going to be the EX Barrier Lantern into the sweep. Okay. This is going to be 7 power EX Barrier Lantern, 1 armor on this, so we will take 6 if we're Cammy, and then Cammy will hit back for however much. Oh, Cammy won't hit back, because attacks at range 3 don't hit. I forgot Barrier Lantern has a retreat 1 on it. That is, well, Hans, you're wrong. Buddy. Barrier Lantern has the range 3 dodge on it. Was this unbeatable? This was basically unbeatable. That was basically unbeatable, yeah, from D. It's just so rare that you actually see Barrier Lantern played as an Ultra. So that's my bad. It's gonna be an assault into a block here for Cammy. D looks like he just takes the 2. Oh, only has 1 card left in hand. Do we know what that 1 card is? No, we don't. Okay, so Barrier Lantern at range 4. Okay, Spectre fans, remember this. Spectre fans, for all 1 of you that's out there, Before Advance 2 pairs really well with this at range 4. Because you're going to be on curve at range 4, and you're going to dodge at range 3. You're going to dodge range 3 slows. There you go. Snaring contest here, 2 for 2. I think D will be happy with that. Just, that 5th gauge is not super important for Cammy, I feel like, but maybe it is. Oh, there could be a CQC into a CQC now for Cammy. D just preps. There's still 2 CQCs left for Cammy here. D, of course, on front side, so he cannot use the UA on offense. That's going to be strike here. I wonder if this is just a CQC. CQC DP mix-up. It actually ends up being the focus, so the spin scythe will go first. We'll hit for 3 after armor, and the focus will hit back for 4. D trying to call out the CQC there. We'll take a look at CQC real quick. Attacks at range 1 do not hit you. Hit, push, or pull any number of spaces. Yeah, Hans, I've actually never seen that interaction before either, because I barely play as Ultra myself. But yeah, that's one very niche, very cool Spectre tip there for you Spectre fans out there. Thank you, D, for teaching us. Back to Cammy here. Looks like D just prepared. D has 5 cards in hand, 2 cards in deck, 4 cards sealed, however. Cammy has 4 cards in hand, 3 cards left in deck. And I mean, look at those options. EXDP, EXCQC, Sweep, Dive, GDS. Not a lot of range 2 options there, huh? Oh, Hans, you actually play Spectre? There you go, Hans. For you. That's for you. Before Advance 2, on a range 4 Barrier Lantern. Range 5 would also work fine, but... Can we striking from a card from hand? So this is Gyro Drive, Sweeper Dive. Well, I will be right back. Yeah, I'm getting a phone call. I'll be back in a little bit. Sorry, folks. Alright, and we're back. What's the score? 2-0? Let's fill that in. What's up, everyone? Oh, let me pull up the chat on my phone. I actually can't see your... I missed nothing? It's 27-25. I was going for like 20 minutes. What happened? What happened, guys? We're playing... We'll take a look at the kits here real quick, I guess. We're playing Rachel Alucard. Really, really tough character to play. She puts garbage on the board, not unlike other characters before her. That help do additional damage. She also gets recursion off them. She actually has good lightning rod positioning right now. Well, no, this is not good. Plague can just kind of play cross or boost cross and end up here. And we have Plague Knight from MistAssassin. Plague Knight can graft on triggers to his attacks to make unbeatable attacks, and also has a really good ultra boost to make even more unbeatable attacks. So I'm assuming this matchup should be like super Plague Knight favored, no? Not super Plague Knight favored, but relatively Plague Knight favored. Because of Plague Knight's ability to pseudo rush down. It's not great rush. It's not. I wouldn't really characterize it as pure rush down, but it's pseudo rush down where, you know, every so often, you know, every 4 or 5 turns, you craft like an 8 damage strike. So I'm assuming that'll be enough to beat Rachel, but maybe not. So we see the light boost from D gets matched with the defend from Plague Knight. Notably, Rachel does have an ignore armor option in Spike Drop. No ignore guard at range 1 though, but has an ignore armor. Ignore armor that benefits from boosting as well. Rachel's a really good character. I think Rachel can be a good character. I just have yet to see it, I guess. I've yet to see it provably over and over again, if that makes sense. Just because it's a very difficult character to play. And or I don't believe in it very much. Boosting Spike is very strange. Yeah, the thing about Plague, right, is that this Plague has, 7 cards in hand, 4 cards left in deck, right? Plague has very fast deck velocity, so as long as this Spike goes into the deck before the reshuffle, it's fine, right? Which is why I don't mind the Spike boosts here so much. Especially because, D-striking right now, right? And we're looking at a 7 damage Spike Drop, by the way, that ignores armor. So we're probably gonna need something like a sweep to defend against this, like a Giant Bomb, maybe. Just kidding, it's a cross. Takes that Spike Drop back, of course, for 2 additional power. This will be, a 6 damage cross, with 3 armor. Plague will take 3. Will miss and draw a card. Yeah, sorry, no card tracking until reshuffle. No card tracking at all, I'm too lazy. Anyway, that's another thing about Rachel, right? She does have recursion, but it's very difficult. As we're gonna see the Serum Supernus come out here. +2 power, +2 speed, +2 armor, now strike. We are at range 4 though, which is a little bit of a peculiar range for this, because there's not too many things this could be. This could be a dive, or this could be a long pitch. No gauge for the Castle Crasher Ultra. I'll take a look at long pitch here. Can be boosted up to 5 power at the cost of 2 force. So 7 total power with the Serum Supernus, or could be a dive, just 7 power dive at 6 speed. Also decent. Rachel does have a card that has 7 guard though in the Electric Chair. So if it is the dive, then I mean Rachel can trade with this pretty handily. With this quirky card that has 7 guard for some reason. Dropping the Spike there, but also okay. Although interestingly enough, we don't see this. I feel like normally you see these Serum Supernus boosts paired with something like the UA usage of on a chain reaction just to reload, or maybe a hit gain advantage so you can prep afterward, that kind of thing. But we're just seeing a raw strike here, which means that D's can have a chance to reply to it on his turn with a full hand. 3 gauge as well, so I mean you can reply to it with a Tempest Dahlia even, right? Yes, but Electric Chair is very quirky in that it's one of the very few cards that has... Oh, did he graft on an Assault to it? Did I miss that? I guess he must have grafted an Assault onto that. My bad. My bad. So that's going to be a 5-power Perfect Pitch incoming. With the grafted on Assault, so as before, close 2 on it. These are normals. Where are these normals from? These are not sanctioned normals, because I feel like the Season 2 normals do not say that. They just say close 2 on them. Whether Plague apply the armor? I can check real quick. 1 second. Okay. Be right back, folks. I just gotta see... I gotta go through the VOD and see how much damage Plague took here. Give me 1 second while we verify this. Plague was at 23. And... Plague... Okay, so Plague started the strike at 23. Okay, so yeah, should be 2 armor applied there, due to the Serum Supernus, of course. So Plague should be at 21. Okay. And now, of course, this was the Perfect Pitch played, so at least Plague gets 1 card to play with. Notably, there are only 3 cards left in Plague Knight's deck. So really, while Plague does have a high chance of getting what he wants out of the deck, the problem is it's very predictable what those 3 cards are, right? So Rachel can play around that really well. Has a ton of force as well, so can basically just choose her range and then do whatever she wants, of course, with the frontside UA. Once per turn is an action, you can spend up to 2 force to close or retreat, then take another action. Okay, and the 3 cards are determined to be Giant Pitch, Long Pitch, or Giant Bomb, which is the sweep-like, Long Pitch, which is the Fireball, and Triple Dose, which is the Cool Ultra, which I think this team is actually named after. Isn't this team named Triple Dose? I think they are. Unfortunately, Triple Dose can no longer win, but that's okay. And it looks like we're just going to see a strike here, a Wild Swing Giant Bomb. With hits, you may spend 1 force for +2 power. Interesting. It's pretty spicy. It's gonna be the Baden Lily. So the Baden Lily will miss. However, we'll dodge this. We'll dodge this ultra. Sorry, we'll dodge this special, right? Because Baden Lily has before advanced retreat up to 2. Rachel decides I don't want to take 8 damage today, so let me leave. And of course, this Giant Bomb will miss. However, Plague can retreat or advance 1. While I do that, let me actually go ahead and fill out this Chain Reaction, Giant Bomb, Perfect Pitch, Staff of Surging, Long Pitch, Castle Crasher, Triple Dose. Boom. Okay. And we'll fill out Rachel's when we have the opportunity later. What's going on here? We'll actually fill out Rachel's now while they're kind of messing around there. So we have the chair, we have the spike drop, we have the tiny Lobelia, we have the whirlwind, we have the flying Lobelia, and we have the ultras, and we have the astral as well. Oh yeah, D just pointing out that you do not reshuffle in this game until, of course, you need to draw a card. So that remains a discard until probably this turn. Actually, I'll guarantee it until this turn. So 1 Perfect Pitch is stuck in the disc in the Gauge, but everything else is back in that deck for Plague. Plague will just prepare. That's a +2 power on Rachel's side, so only 2 Gauge, but Rachel does have a Speed 6 option in the Whirlwind. Could also be a Lobelia as well to attempt to dodge something like a Sweep. Sorry, we'll zoom in on those a little bit longer. Whirlwind has the additional ability of getting to sustain this Fierce, which will be nice. Especially as Rachel would build her 3rd Gauge, where she can now threaten her Ultra in the Tempest Dahlia. Feels like Plague's gonna deck out this game. Yeah, normally you see Plague do more than 6 damage per on the first deck cycle, but I know for a fact that I've done less than 6 damage on the first deck cycle and still won the game as Plague. So Plague is just one of those explosive characters where it's just like sometimes you can do more than that, and it is the Whirlwind. It gets blocked by Plague here. So it's gonna be 5 power Whirlwind. Of course, that Fierce will be sustained. Oh wait, we're not tracking Rachel's cards yet. So yeah, while it is certainly a possibility that Plague can deck out, Plague is one of those characters that, especially with usage of cards like Spike, right, at the right time, can really can do 24 damage in a deck in one deck cycle. Plague is almost having this economy built back up. I think it needs like one more prep. Okay, it's the Strike. Are we going to see the Whirlwind here, second copy? Are we going to see a Lobelia, or are we going to see the Tempest Dahlia? I guess is the question. Would not be surprised if this is just 7 damage Tempest Dahlia just being swung with here. I don't know what MistAssassin's doing here. What is this? It's like picking up the card and putting it down. And D's just patiently waiting. I think it should be Defender that flips the card first to... Although it looks like MistAssassin has not locked this card in yet, despite having placed it down in the combat area. Maybe he's thinking about grafting on additional attacks. Now, a reminder, I mean, the Tempest Dahlia is not unbeatable, right? You can play a Grasp here and just tack on something else. But no, it is the Tempest Dahlia, as we predicted, and it'll pop the defenses of that Giant Bomb. That's going to be 7 power incoming, and Rachel takes a hefty lead, pushes... onto the Ice Spike, onto the Lightning Rod as well, to recur that tiny Lobelia back to hand. And things do not look good anymore for Plague Knight. Things do not look I mean, that's the exact sequence we predicted, right? But I guess there was no answer in the hand for Plague. I don't know what this Giant Bomb was doing. I guess it was just praying that this was not a Tempest Dahlia. And so we see an expansion of 1 force in the form of Grasp for Plague to move to range 2. Range 2 is decent for Plague. Of course, he has the DP shape and the perfect pitch. You can obviously mix it up with the Spike. So we see Rachel jump back and strike back to range 3. Are we looking at maybe a Flying Lobelia here? Flying Lobelia Spike mix-up, perhaps? It appears that as I've come back, the action has picked up from the, as opposed to what happened earlier, where scores were 27-25. Rachel has definitely taken quite the lead here. Rachel does not have a ton of cards left. It's going to be the second Giant Bomb here from Plague. And it is the Lobelia. So Lobelia will push the Giant Bomb out of the way. It's going to be 3 power. That dive, which was used as the force, of course, will be placed down as a Lightning Rod. Tarankin. D decides to put it at range 3 from himself. And Plague chooses to step onto the Lightning Rod, of course, has to retreat, advance to retreat 1. Crosses into range 1, and yeah, I wonder who made these normals, because they're not, they're like the OG normals almost. Wait, they're for playtest use only. You see that? I wonder who made these normals, because they're like scuffed normals. As we see, initiative boosted by D, prep from Plague, and second initiative boosted by Rachel here. This could be +2 speed, threatening that 5 damage, ignore armor, spike drop, of course. Off the initiative. And this game looks very difficult now to win for Plague. Plague was just really low on cards when we came back. The bets that were made didn't really pan out. And it's going to be a prep from Plague again. It's going to be a strike here. I'm pretty sure this is a spike drop. But Plague would have to draw EX Grasp. It doesn't even have EX Grasp at the disposal, so I mean, this is looking like Rachel's gonna hit, right? So Plague's gonna be down to low baby HP, and I think D's gonna be able to win this one pretty handily in a lot of worlds. It's gonna be pretty difficult. It's gonna be the focus for a little bit of armor, but no, it's that spike drop. That's gonna be 5 power incoming. Notably, focus is not stunned, so the focus will hit back for 4, putting D at 20 HP, but Plague only has 2 to his name. So this is, Plague is an explosive character, but needs 3 combats in a row, 3 explosive combats in a row, or like 5 regular ones, right? So we see the Sylphly fight boosted, advance to retreat into a lightning round space to take another action. So that's actually going to be Rachel moving to center, range 2, she's going to jump back and she's going to strike here. That's of course some of the action compression you can achieve with Rachel if you have the resources. Notably, very expensive, right? Because it's spending an Ultra, a Force, and another Force to move to range 3 and strike. But Rachel can do that every so often, as long as she's keeping up her economy well enough, which it looks like she did. Looks like it's going to be the Castle Crasher for armor. That's funny. So this Whirlwind will do 0 damage after armor, and the Castle Crasher will hit back for 7. So that's a swing. You're out of gauge now, but that's a swing back in your favor for sure. We need 2 more of those. Unfortunately, we don't have the economy for 2 more of those if we're Plague Knight just yet, but we will in the future. Rachel only has 3 cards left in her deck. We should probably figure out what those are, but I'm too lazy to check. So this could be a swing where Rachel magically runs out of stuff and Plague Knight wins the game. So I don't think Plague's completely out of this yet. Especially if we see something like a Berserker's Brew paired with the UA on the chain reaction into an assault maybe to gain advantage, draw a bunch of cards, and then see what you can do from there. Rachel does have 3 forces to her name in her gauge, so she can use that with her UA to maybe try to craft an unbeatable, depending on what these 3 cards are. The 3 cards are block, dive. Okay. Is that really the case? I'm just gonna trust. I'm gonna trust. I'm gonna trust that that's the case. I'm gonna trust. I'm gonna take a peek. Yeah? Huh. Okay. Well, it can't be Berserker's Brew into an assault anymore, because I'll just get blocked out for free. You can't spike unless you pair it with a Serum Supernus. So, there are still certain hand comps here that Plague can win the game with. Alright, so for example, if we see Serum Supernus spend 2 force in the form of this, and then 2 cards from hand, play Spike as the 3rd card in hand, and then pair that with a chain reaction, that would be decent. That'd be decent, right? That'll be 7 power after gain up to 4 cards. Looks like MistAssassin is just going for it though. We're striking with a single card, and we are spending force for +2 power on hit. Are we going again? Is the question. This is spicy. This is spicy right here. I mean, clearly MistAssassin doesn't have the Ultra Boost or something in hand, so this is pretty spicy. So D has to make the decision whether he's going to play block or I mean, it's a mix-up, right? Is it spike or not spike? Oh no! It's discards the spike, and that's just free real estate to play the block, right? Oh no! Unless it's the second spike, it's not. It's the chain reaction. And that is such an unfortunate discard there. That is such an unfortunate discard there for MistAssassin. Went for it again. So has a 4 power chain reaction on the board. Can spend 1 force to bump it up to 6 power. D, of course, does have 3 force in his gauge. But that is such an unfortunate discard. That is such an unfortunate discard. Just go for it too. I mean, chain reaction will draw plague up to 4. Back up to 4, excuse me. But that's sad, man. That's really sad. I'm assuming this is MistAssassin choosing whether he wants to spend a force to draw to add +2 power to this, and the force is quote unquote free. Spends the triple dose for it though. That's spicy. What? Okay. I did not expect to see this in hand. I will say that much. I did not expect to see that in hand. Looks like it's gonna be the reshuffle coming out here for D. Bringing that Clownish Calendula back into the hand. Leaving a block engage and nothing else. Oh yeah, Dive and Assault, I believe, are the 2 cards left on the board as Lightning Rods. This is going to be that Clownish Calendula in hand. It's going to be a shot for Plague Knight to strike here, but finds himself at range 4. Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't expect to see this Berserker's Brew in hand with that play. Like you Berserker's Brew, I think you can just go for the spike there if you have it. UA gets parried, but feels just like a null turn because D's just going to prep now. Or sorry, Astral gets parried, excuse me. I think it said UA gets parried. The Astral gets parried. D preps, obviously. But wow, I just didn't expect any of that to happen. I feel like, okay, if you have the mix up there, you could play the mix up, right? Or you could not, right? But in either scenario, I feel like you just you drop the cards in hand unless there's another Ultra Boost on board, right? Maybe there is another Ultra Boost. Maybe there's 2 Ultra Boosts in the hand, or there were 2 Ultra Boosts in the hand because one was discarded as +2 force. But that feels like such a weird play to just discard it for +2 power later. As we're going to see a strike here, we're at range 4. This strike is going to have after retreat 3 on it. That is not what you want to see at all. And we're going to see a second grafted on attack here, it looks like. Oh no, we're not. We're just grafting the one? Or are we grafting a second one on? Plague Knight, of course, we'll take a look at the UX. I don't think we've actually done that yet. We can graft on attacks to before a hit and after triggers to our attacks using other cards. Kind of like a chemist or a potioneer or what have you. If he has 2 Ultra, you shouldn't UA the second time. I agree. I don't know. I'll be real. I don't know what MistAssassin was going for. I'll be real. I didn't really understand it. What is going on here? Someone's drawing. I'm assuming it's D. It looks like the pumpkin's putting on the shades. It's +2 guard. Your attacks are critical. D, just going for the wild swing. It's a wild swing spike. I is the long pitch, so it's going to be a total of up to 5 power incoming. Of course, this has to get validated first. And then we will retreat back to range 6. I don't know. It's so interesting because MistAssassin stopped at 1. So did he want to go to range 6? Or is he just not willing to take the 50-50 here? If he goes to 6, he could just die to Lobelia. But maybe in a lot of cases he doesn't. Very, very curious. Very, very curious gameplay here. Not curious necessarily in a bad way. More just I'm confused at what plays are happening and why they're happening. I can't seem to figure it out. Okay, so I think we're still waiting on the validation of long pitch. Long pitch, of course, is a force special, so you need to pay a force to play this, right? Okay, it looks like it's gonna be a dive and some look like a perfect pitch or something. So expenditure of 2 force, both from hand, to take no damage. Sorry, to deal 5 damage to Rachel. Rachel just preps. I mean, Plague can't hit at 6 unless he grafts on attack. He grafts on a before advance, right? Has no cards left in hand. MistAssassin has 3 gauge, 4 force left in the gauge. So I'm assuming this is probably... I think you have to CC here or a prep, right? Just CC the gauge away. CC 4, draw 5. I think you have to. Especially because if you don't, and then D just draws Lobelia, your game is over. So I think you have to CC 4, draw 5, right? You need this point. You need this point. And yeah, Hans, good point there. I mean, Dive is such a good card to graft onto your attacks, right? To make them just unbeatable. So it's very curious to see the Dive go. You think the Dive is more valuable than 2 damage? I agree. I 100% agree. Although 8 damage can be a break point. 8 damage can be a break point if Plague goes like +3 power now strike. 8 damage can be a break point. I don't think it will be a break point that matters in this game, but it can be. It's gonna be the preparer over the change cards. We're keeping the force, baby. D prepares again. We're stuck at range 6. We're in the middle of nowhere. We need help. As soon as this tiny Lobelia gets drawn, we see the frantic research come out. That's gonna be a draw 2 cards, then strike after draw 2 cards. That is spicy. That is very spicy. Wow. Okay. So notably, we do need to graft on either an assault or a dive to our attack to hit, right? Preferably the dive, because it advances you further to like a range 3 mix-up situation. I have a feeling D's just gonna cross out of this. Whatever this may be, D's just going to cross out. The only situation you cannot cross out is if Plague discards a dive and you think he's playing the Ultra. Because the Castle Crasher will catch the cross in that situation, but I have a feeling that the cross is going to come out. Okay. MistAssassin does not look like he's drawn what he needed to draw, judging by how long he's taking to form a strike here. Okay, that's going to be... Oh, maybe yes. What's going on here? That was the most scuffed shuffle in the history of shuffles. Did you see that? Like, D really should be picking that out. The cards barely switched. What was that? That doesn't seem very fair. You see that? That doesn't seem very fair at all. You just saw the card switch and then pick the other one. Whatever, man. I guess we're just gonna let it ride, but that didn't look fair at all. Like the card just switched once. It's like, oh, okay. I mean, he has before close 2 on this. So is it dive or is it long pitch or is it castle crusher? But before close 2 means you can just cross out of this for free, right? Because you end up here and then Rachel just goes here. And there's no speed 6 option that hits at range 4, right? We're going to be at range 4 with this before close 2 on it. There's no speed 6 option for Plague Knight. Cross is free for Rachel if she wants to take it, if she has it. What kind of shuffling was that, though? Whatever, man. Anything else that can... No, nothing else here really makes sense. EX Lobelia can make sense. EX, tiny Lobelia, that is. Rachel goes for the dive. Wants to dive into this, whatever this is. It's the triple dose? Oh... Well, Rachel goes first, closes 3, and that triple dose is going to hit. It's going to draw 3 cards. It's going to get advantage 3 times. It's going to close 6. The sound effect takes place, but you can like track the cards, right? Like the card tracking is real. That is a triple dose and a half. That is... Is that really how many cards that should have been drawn? Oh yeah. Wait. Did Plague lose the game? Hold on, Plague has to draw 9 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Plague draws exactly the entire deck. Plague draws exactly the entire deck. Gains advantage. Plague draws exactly the entire deck. Had 9 cards left in deck and drew 9. So didn't deck himself out, and now he's going to play the Serum Awareness on top of it. Does Rachel have second block? Does Rachel have second block? Yeah, Plague can no longer draw cards for the rest of the game, obviously, off strikes or anything else. So Plague's going to be striking a bunch. Did Plague just snatch this victory away from Rachel? Oh my. Oh my. This could be it. This could be it. That's true, Hans. He could strike with he could strike with 7 speed assaults. You do have to worry about EX Grasp being in the hand of Rachel. But that is a possibility, yes. The only issue with that play is that it loses unless there's... Oh wait, no, there's a second Berserker's Burn there. So as I say, it doesn't lose to focus. The assault into the grasp. It doesn't lose to focus. Yeah, no, that's a good shout out. That's a good shout out there, Hans, for sure. We stopped tracking cards a long time ago. This game is too hyped to track cards now. But yeah, gain advantage maybe. Just don't draw cards. That's it. It's that simple. Just don't draw cards. Okay, drops a focus. I mean, here's 2 force right here. I don't know what... I mean, this is doing nothing, right? Can Mist pull this game out from under D's nose? Reminder, it was 24-10, the scores, but I mean, I said it earlier, right? Like, Plague can do these kind of things. I mean, granted, it did take a dive into the triple dose to make things happen. That triple dose did have before close 6 on it as well, though. So it would have caught the cross that I was predicting. I just didn't see that triple dose coming, but I guess that makes sense that MistAssassin kept the 3 gauge for that reason, and he made it work up until now. up until now. So that's going to be an expenditure of 1 force so far. We're still going to need 3 more force for this. That's hype, though. The fact that he drew exactly 9 cards and had a 9-card deck. That was very cool. That was very, very, very cool. So let's see if he goes for the Grasp or if he goes for the Assault. Okay, there's no way he spent 4 force there. Did he? Did you really spend 4 force? Okay, 1, 2. Okay, he's just deciding what cards to play first. He has 2 force here for free. I'm not really sure what's going on there. Well, Staff of Surging is useless. And 1 more. The Dive, okay. Is Grafty on cards? Graf's on a Spike, useless. Grafty on another card. Graf's on an Assault. Has hit gain advantage on this. Has only 2 cards left to his name in his hand, though. Wild Swing Spike Drop is not going to do it. It's the Grass. That's game. MistAssassin yoinks game 3 away with that Plague Knight on top of the Rachel. Yeah, D just pointing out this 2 force not really doing anything in the hand. The strike was not the Assault. No, he just went for the Grasp. Yeah, D had garbage in hand. I mean, nothing was going to stop that. And Plague Knight just yoinks game 3 away with that triple dose. And that is going to be the set. That's going to be 2-1 to D. So D's team does still win the set overall and ends up at 11 points, I believe. But MistAssassin able to steal that game 3 back. 4-team triple dose aptly named. And they will end up with 10 points at the end of this week. So I don't really know how that works for the rest of the table. Don't really know how that pairs out. Because I think most of the teams haven't played yet. Sorry for missing the action in the middle, but apparently I didn't miss much. But we were back in time to see how this just miraculous Plague Knight gameplay pan out. Very, very exciting stuff. Congrats to MistAssassin for stealing this game 3 away from D, because D looked very much in charge, but that's that one play just ran out of resources, and then MistAssassin was able to take the game back with the triple dose advantage chains. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to leave a follow. If you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Really, really exciting set here at the end with a really, really hype ending for sure. Congrats to D for taking the set 2-1. But like I said, every point matters, right? And the difference between a 3-0 and a 2-1, right, could be the difference of $20. It's a huge, huge prize pool here. I think it's $20 per player too as well. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you for the next one. Bye-bye.